Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
August the 22nd, Matchroom Sport Headquarters, Eddie Hearn's back garden. Sky Sports pay-per-view, Dillian Whyte will defend his WBC interim world heavyweight title against Alexander Povetkin. Very, very dangerous fight for him. Excellent undercard in that, by the way, as well. Luther Clay, he's a big friend of this channel on that as well. He'll be taking on Chris Congo. Katie Taylor will defend her undisputed in a rematch against Delphine Pursoon, and so on. So it's actually a very, very good fight card, that's for sure. Now, a few days ago, it was announced that Dillian Whyte and trainer Mark Tibbs have parted ways after 4 years working together. Now, what we do know is that Dillian Whyte, he's been over there in Portugal for a very, very extended camp because of the whole pandemic that's been going on around the world. So he foreseen this, went over to Portugal, all that kind of stuff. And of course, he's had Xavier Miller over there, who could be his new trainer. Is that official yet? I don't know. But Xavier Miller, he's been over there in camp with him. You've got lots of Michael Magic Hands, John Harden Jr. His whole entourage of people are out there. Dean White is not one of them either. Mark Tibbs, he's been here in the UK. Of course, he's got his family. His very young family as well. Of course, he's got his dad and that as well, who hasn't been very well. And of course, he's starting up his new gym, which is going to be fantastic. So big up Mark Tibbs for this gym. Now, these guys part in ways. We know that Mark Tibbs has had a couple of interviews and what have you, and it is what it is. Let me just say this. I have seen a lot of people in the comment section and all over social media saying certain things about this whole Mark Tibbs and Dillian Whyte situation. And I mean, I'm not going to get into it. It's not my place to say. But you're actually wrong on a lot of this stuff, okay? There is actually way more to it. So much more to it. But that's for Dillian Whyte to say. It's not for me to say at all. Now, I have spoke to Dillian, everything. Whether or not he'll be making any kind of statements or anything, I don't know. At the end of the day, I really don't know. But in order for me to not put my foot in my mouth, I want to move on from Mark Tibbs and Dillian Whyte, why they've split up and everything, and move into Alexander Povetkin, Dillian Whyte's opponent, who's saying him leaving Mark Tibbs, what kind of effect is that going to have on Dillian Whyte going into their fight? Now, Xavier Miller, as I said, I don't know whether or not it's official that he is Dillian Whyte's trainer, but he'll be in the corner for Dillian Whyte, unless something changes, of course. But is it ideal? I don't know. I don't know what kind of trainer Xavier Miller is. I've never spoken to him. I've never taken too much notice of him, to be honest with you. I always seen him as part of Dillian Whyte's entourage. I didn't realise that he's actually a trainer in his own right, which is my bad. But him working with Xavier Miller, we don't know how it's going to go. Sometimes when you switch trainer, you add more to your arsenal, you improve. When Dillian Whyte, when he left Jonathan Banks and went over to Mark Tibbs, you've seen the transformation of Dillian Whyte. He's one of the most improved fighters on the planet. He's turned from a good fighter to a world-class fighter, has he not? And of course, it's a pay-per-view as well. So Mark Tibbs done an absolutely fantastic job. And anybody out there who wants a good trainer, and if you're good, knock on the door of Mark Tibbs. He's absolutely fantastic. But Xavier Miller, him being in the corner, now he was part of Dillian Whyte's team when Dillian took on Marius Wack. As we know, Dillian, he weren't in the best of conditions, and I know quite a few people who have already come up with this conclusion that Xavier Miller will be Dillian Whyte's trainer, saying, well, Miller, he couldn't get Dillian Whyte in any kind of shape, and Dillian Whyte, his performance was flat against Marius Wack. He couldn't even knock out an old Marius Wack, all that kind of thing. Well, first of all, Marius Wack has never hit the canvas in his career. Not one time. Okay, so quite why people are saying that is beyond me. And yes, he wasn't in the best of condition because he wasn't training. He thought he was going to lose his boxing license. He didn't know what's going on. He felt like he was being stitched up over this whole WBC and UCAD, British Box Board of Control, whole kind of situation. So what would you do when you've got all that in your mind? Would you have the motivation to go to the gym? Probably not. But what we do know with Miller, or at least what we've heard, and again, you can see glimpses of it when he's fighting Marius Wack, there is a slight change in Dillian. He's more of a counter-puncher, or he certainly was against Marius Wack. Quite how he's going to be with Povetkin, I don't know. I wouldn't advise being a counter-puncher with Povetkin. Povetkin's got very, very fast hands, dangerous left hook, and he's an all-round, very, very intelligent fighter. But Miller, is he going to have a negative effect on Dillian Whyte's performance? I don't know. I know a lot of people are overlooking Povetkin. You should never, ever overlook Alexander Povetkin. This is pretty much his last chance saloon. Now, him beating Dillian Whyte, will he become mandatory challenger to Tyson Fury? No, he wouldn't. But he would become the WBC interim world heavyweight champion, which means he will be eligible for a world title shot against Tyson Fury. But I'm pretty sure that there'll be a rematch clause if things don't work out. But hopefully, touch wood, they do, and Dillian Whyte gets him out of there or gets the win, however it may go. But Mark Tibbs not being in the corner, is that cause for concern? Of course. Of course it is. For me, when Mark Tibbs was in the corner for Dillian Whyte, that gave me a bit more confidence. I mean, I'm always confident in Dillian Whyte anyway, but Mark Tibbs being there gives me a bit more confidence. Mark Tibbs is a tactical genius, and he knows how to get the best out of Dillian Whyte. Much like Rob McCracken with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua had left Rob McCracken and went with somebody else, I'd be nervous with Anthony Joshua. When Tyson Fury, he left Peter Fury, went with Ben Davison, I was nervous. And then Ben Davison, he proved that he was good. He then went over to Kronk with Sugar Hill. I've got all the confidence in the world with Tyson Fury, but part of me was nervous because I didn't know too much about Sugar Hill and how him and Tyson Fury were going to click together. So, of course, a trainer that we're all used to seeing it just gives people that little bit extra. Anyway, I hope I'm making sense with that one. So, Mark Tibbs not being there, will it have a negative effect? We don't know. We don't know. Maybe Mark Tibbs being there, Dillian Whyte was going to lose to Povetkin anyway. I mean, personally, I don't think so. I think that Dillian Whyte will get him out of there. But we don't know. We really don't know. Is Xavier Miller, is he an elite trainer? Again, I don't know. Sometimes you don't have to be. Sometimes a trainer and a boxer, they just click. They just click. And I'm presuming that Dillian and Miller have just clicked somewhere along the lines. But anyway, I mean, this whole thing with Mark Tibbs, that will all come out in the wash at some point. So is what it is. But will it have a negative effect? Is Alexander Povetkin, is he right to question that? I mean, I think Alexander Povetkin is hoping it's going to have a negative effect. That's for sure. Maybe Dillian Whyte, he's been overdoing it. He's had a very, very, very long camp. Sometimes you can do a bit too much. Ask Ricky Han about that. Okay. Him being in Portugal, I don't know. I really don't know. Of course, Dillian, he's had like a lot of other things on his mind and that as well. The WBC and plenty of other things that's been going on in his mind. This whole thing is just another distraction, really, isn't it? But hopefully Dillian Whyte is focused. I mean, if you ask him the question, of course, he'll say he is. Povetkin, again, Povetkin has just had a baby with his wife. So what kind of distractions that had? Has the baby been keeping him up at night? I don't know. No idea. But anyway, we'll find out August 22nd. What kind of effect, what kind of Dillian Whyte will turn up? Will he turn up in condition? Will he turn up with a brilliant game plan? We don't know. We don't know. Hopefully Dillian Whyte wins. I believe he will. I believe that he will stop Povetkin as well. But you never know. Heavyweight boxing, Povetkin, people want to say how he's old. Well, he's only got 2 losses on his resume. One was to a very, very informed peak, Vladimir Klitschko, when he went the distance. Yeah, he got bounced around a bit in that fight. And of course with Anthony Joshua, where he gave Anthony Joshua hell for the first 2.5 rounds. Then Joshua started to come into it, and then it was what it was. Don't forget, he beat Hughie Fury. He got a draw with Michael Hunter recently as well. Beat David Price, is what it is. So he's not really past it, is he? Anyway, we'll have to wait and see what kind of Dillian Whyte turns up. For me, this fight is Dillian Whyte's to win or to lose. That's all it is. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all in the next video.